EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the United States Open Championship.
Oh, he's winding this one up. Does he have the power, though?
Looks to be putting everything into this one. Just destroyed it.
Long just meant longer. That's beyond long.
That is a sensational play right there, and you have to think that the little helping breeze gave that a nice boost.
He can't be that good.
Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Wow, I thought he made that. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Well, that hurts. Bogey here yesterday. Chance to better that today. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Frank, you well know the U.S. Open is a thinking man's game, and this is a good example here, this short par 4 second hole.
It certainly is, Rich. It's not about length. It's not even about accuracy. It's about trying to pick the right shot, and the right shot is somehow finding that fairway between the left as it creeps in and the 6 bunkers on the right.
Well, this one is offline just a bit. Look out. That one is going to end up in the rough. Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Well, in the sand, but it has been raked nicely, looking for something positive. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Bogey here yesterday. Now this for birdie.
Yeah, a little unlucky there.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Good roll. So here we are at the third hole, par 4, again 428 yards. Frank, have you ever seen anything quite like the bunkering that we have here on the left side of this hole?
No, the church pews, they're famous, obviously, for Oakmont, and they have that tendency to drag your eye to that left side. Really, anything that you can get off on the fairway off this tee, whether it's a long iron, I don't care what it is. If you want to try and hit driver down there, well, good luck, because this really is about the second shot. Somehow avoid that trouble there, so you've got a second shot.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Pretty good shot right there. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Oh my gosh, that hurts. So a drop shot here at the third hole, Frank.
Yeah, another putt missed. Even par currently.
Losing a bit of ground now in this tournament with the bogey. Has been pivotal in past U.S. Opens.
Yeah, it certainly has. A good drive here, there's a chance to go for the par 5 and 2. A bad drive here, finding the church pews or the bunkers on the right. More often than not, you're pitching out sideways. Totally different proposition. Just smokes it.
I knew it right away. Picked up the tee, didn't even look at it. We can see it. It's perfect, right down the middle of the fairway. Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
What is he ever like?
Been pretty good all day from this distance. Just trying to take care of business. Pretty good putt, Frank. Just didn't quite read it correctly.
Would have certainly liked that to go in.
Good birdie right there, moving to third place on the leaderboard. It's a nice little hole, Frank. 382 yards, par 4, fifth here at Oakmont.
You can't really hit a driver or a 3-wood down here. You're going to run out of fairway. Plus, there's no real advantage. Hole starts to shrink up here. You just got to play it as a two-shotter. But it's easy just to blaze away with an iron. If you can hit an iron at a US Open off a par 4 tee, you better hit it in the fairway.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Well, that's just a case of not focusing right there. What a lapse in concentration. Just a little tap in here. Frank, a solid par right there. Maintains his position. Frank, you played the U.S. Open and nearly won it back in 1994 at Oakmont, so you remember this par 3-6, the 194 yards. It's changed a bit since then. How?
It has. They've actually made the green a little bit bigger, and how they managed to do that, they took away a bunker that used to be behind the green a little on the left side. It's not really made the hole any easier, but it still suits like a little bit of a cut. And there's something that starts on those left bunkers and works its way back towards the middle of the green. The reason why that's a better shot is because the slope of the green goes in the opposite direction. So it's one way to keep the ball straighter.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Just a couple of feet. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Frank, the seventh here at Oakmont at 434 yards. Looks like your prototypical U.S. Open hole in that it requires some accuracy off the tee.
It does. And the bunkers are exactly where you would like to hit it, that sort of awkward distance. So if you want to challenge this hole off the tee, you're going to bring the 5 bunkers into play, the 2 on the left and the 3 on the right.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. Oh, I thought he had that. Well, that's disappointing. He misses the par putt, and he'll have this for bogey. This hole is playing tough. Bogey here yesterday, and now looking at bogey again. Frank, that bogey really hurts. U.S. Opens, Frank, as you well know, you've played in so many of them, are supposed to be demanding and tough. This is what a U.S. Open's all about. A par 3 at nearly 300 yards. That's the 8th at Oakmont.
It's not just the length too, but this is a typical Oakmont green, which means it's not easy. There is an option though, if you can't reach this green or at least fly it on, you might get a lucky bounce to kick forward. You'll see a lot of people chipping from around the front edge of this green, and there's no shame in that.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, who knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. Aimed the club at that and made sure they followed through.
Frank, they didn't have any openings at EA Sports Basketball because, I mean, this is just brutal to watch. And now to the 9th, and in case a player has forgotten somehow that he's at a U.S. Open, the 9th will remind him very quickly that this is the national championship. This is demanding. Good tee shot, right in the fairway, and plenty long. Frank, you've been there. This is kind of a memorable approach shot, isn't it? The 2nd to the 9th.
Yeah, often you'll have people putting on the back because part of that is the practice putting green. So you'll see many of approach shot bound through and go between the legs of some people trying to get ready for their round. Green might look like a big square, but there's not too many flat sections in this green.
Not very good at all right there.
No, I think it's time to sell the clubs, buy a tennis racket.
Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
In for par. Picking it up live down at the 10th.
Rich, this is unusual. A series of poor shots too. There's enough easy holes out here, but not getting the ball in play, especially on the short par fours. That's absolutely killing this round.
A lot of missed opportunities, Frank. What do you think they need to do to just get it back on track?
It's almost like tightening the screws right now, and maybe even a different club selection off the tee, making sure that ball's in play. This golf course isn't overly long.
Frank, you've been there so many times. Is it fair to say that a U.S. Open is as much a psychological test as it is a physical test?
I think that's a great way to put it, Rich. It really is. People know that you're not going to get instant gratification at a U.S. Open. You're going to sort of get hit more than you'd like, especially come the end of the week. But also in the back of your mind, you realise that's the way you should be tested, maybe once a year. That's all, and that often determines the best player in the game.
Not on the fairway here. This could be a tough shot coming up next. Has 80 yards left.
Frank, Oakmont is important historically in so many ways, principally because this was the first major championship victory for Jack Nicklaus back in 1962.
Yeah, Oakmont, for some reason, has defined people's career. It did with Hogan in '53 in the great year. We all know about Johnny Miller's '63 that was shot there. But you're right, in 1962, in his rookie year, Jack Nicklaus not only would win his first U.S. Open, but he'd have to do it in a playoff, and he would have to do it against the game's most favourite player, in Arnold Palmer, in his backyard. So it was very difficult for a young Nicklaus to be the villain in the story, and yet he was just starting his career. But when they stood on the first tee, Arnold Palmer hitched up his trousers and thumped one down the fairway, and then he saw a young 22-year-old literally fly his tee shot, and he realised it was not only game on, but maybe what was up ahead for Arnold Palmer wasn't going to be as easy as what he thought. But we also saw the start of what was going to be the greatest run in golf, 18 major championships, but they started at Oakmont in 1962.
The winner's check for Jack Nicklaus in 1962, $17,500. How about that? Par 4 11th is 379 yards as we continue backside here at the U.S. Open at Oakmont. Frank, what's the strategy off the tee here?
You're hitting something that goes about 240, 250 yards maximum, hopefully keeping it out of that right rough. And the reason why that right rough is certainly to be avoided is that big gaping bunker at the front of the screen. Green's perched up a little bit, so this is another one where if you can hit an iron or a utility club off the tee, you must find the fairway.
Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. And now we'll have this for birdie. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like.
You'd like that one again.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
And getting ready for the putt. Just broke away at the last second. Going to tap out on this hole for the week for another bogey on this hole. Well, too bad, he gives one back. We are at the par 5 12th here at Oakmont. This is a big par 5 at 667 yards.
On for a little extra. That is burning through the atmosphere. Look at that thing. It's got a tail on it.
That's like a rocket ship. That one was launched by NASA.
That's a ginormous tee shot.
Now the second shot to the par 5. Sit down. Get down.
Oh, this is going.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck? He's an awkward length. Inexcusable.
Coming off a bogey here yesterday, chance to make it right. Continuing to putt with confidence. Here at the par 3 13th, we're ready to tee off. It's 183 yards.
Oh, this is straight at it.
That's a really good line. That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop.
Good thing he stayed in the first cut, because just a couple of feet over, that rough is really deep. Well, that's what the great ones do. From the rough, they use their skill and their strength to get it out and get it close. Wow, I didn't expect that. He needs this for bogey. Continues to roll it very well all day long. Well, the reason Oakmont has hosted so many U.S. Opens, Frank, as you well know, is it has a really good blend of holes. And now we come to a short par 4 at 358 yards, the 14th.
You can see the predicament in front of you, bunkers left and right, but really the bonus here, if you get the ball on the fairway with just something like a long on off the tee, this is one of your best scoring opportunities at Oakmont.
Not the best shot, this one in the rough, but still will have a play from there. Second shot coming out of the rough here. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Pretty good shot right there. Not a gimme, but well within his range. He'll take par and move on. Well, this is a good U.S. Open par 4 at 499 yards. The 15th is one of the better holes in the course, Frank.
It is. The shape of the tee shot you think would suit a cut, but because the fairway slopes quite severely to the right, really it needs a draw just to work its way against that slope and somehow keep it on the straight and narrow.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Okay, 20 feet, not too bad. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Missed on that one, Frank.
Yeah, not a problem.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Continues to roll the ball very well. Here at the 15th, a long par 4 at 499 yards. Frank, what are you looking to do off the tee?
Tee shot here is very similar to the one back at the par 5 where the fairway slopes left to right. And then the second shot's going to be uphill to a green that's actually built in the opposite direction. This is a tough par 4.
Frank, which way is this headed?
Well, judging by his body English, it looks like it's heading a little right. There is a bit of green out there, though.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
We're coming down to the wire here at the U.S. Open Championship at fabled Oakmont. And the tension's starting to build. And, Frank, this is decision time at this very short 313-yard par 4.
Yeah, normally in a U.S. Open, Rich, you'd think the prudent play would be lay it up. But, I kind of like driver here today. I think the worst you're going to do is just miss the green or hit it one of those pop bunkers. You perhaps could drive it on the green, be putting for eagle. But even out of one of those bunkers, you got to think you're even money to get it up and down. I like driver here.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. So that ball nestles down in the rough. Just got away a little bit on that tee ball. Putting all of his talents on display here from the rough, and he knocks it really close. Beautiful shot. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Frank, you know this as well as anyone, having competed in and contended in U.S. Open championships. An 18th hole at a U.S. Open is supposed to be tough. A par is supposed to be hard won. This has all the elements of a great finishing hole, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if you could use the word fair, but you would say it's a just finishing hole. It's right, because it extracts the best you'd ever want to see out of a champion. Someone that can basically stand on that tee, gather their thoughts together, thump something down the fairway, then come up with a second shot that's nearly as challenging as the tee shot, and then somehow 2-putt. You do all that with the lead, you deserve to pick up the U.S. Open trophy.
Nice drive, right in the fairway, and a good swing on that one. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Just 5 feet left. So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
Well, not going to make par here. He needs this to only give up one. So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. That concludes round 3 here. Not a very good one, Frank.
Yeah, really a poor performance is the only way to put it. Rich, missing putts throughout the round really kept them back from putting anything of consequence together.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live final round coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship.
Errant tee shot here, Rich, but going to have to muscle this one out of the rough.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Headed for the bunker? That one is in the bunker. In the green side bunker, Frank. Little bit of a problem. Well, Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You've got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
These putts keep the round together. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, you well know the U.S. Open is a thinking man's game, and this is a good example here, this short par 4 second hole.
It certainly is, Rich. It's not about length. It's not even about accuracy. It's about trying to pick the right shot, and the right shot is somehow finding that fairway between the left as it creeps in and the 6 bunkers on the right.
Well, at least he can draw on the experience from the previous hole. Again, in the bunker. All right, so green side bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.